Good evening from wherever you're watching us from. So glad you could join us on Newswatch for updates on stories making headlines today. Do stay tuned for our feature of the week. Our reporter Dolly Murigi had an exclusive interview with one 42-year-old ex-convict who was sentenced to death but had a second chance and secured her freedom at the height of COVID-19 in 28th October 2020. My name is Grace Ongoy, and a sign language interpreter tonight is Boniface Moredi. Let's begin. Now, it has been a happy week for dozens of Marsabit residents in Gororukesa, Matarba, and Jaldesa Sacco constituency after the Christ is the Answer Ministries CITA missions toured the region in its annual mission work. The residents, together with their livestock, received medical care after a group of Christian doctors in collaboration with the CITA missions unit set up medical camps in the area. Our reporter Dolly Murigi, who has been in Marsabit County this week, followed up on the events of the week and prepared for us the following report.
It has been 4 days of missionary service focusing on 3 areas of Marsabit County: Gororuseka, Matarba, and Jaldesa and Sacco constituency. Marsabit County in northern Kenya borders Ethiopia to the north, Turkana County to the west, Samburu County to the south, and Wajir and Isiolo counties to the east. From Tuesday, June 7th to Friday, the 10th, health workers affiliated with the CITA missions unit under CITA Church cared for resident alien from various sickness to give them treatment and also attended to the livestock, which were also medically taken care of. In Gororuseka area, 13 kilometers from Marsabit, the residents received medical attention with the main aim of missioners being reaching locals with the gospel of Jesus Christ.
What we experienced on the first day was more cases of URTI. We had cases of eye problems, we had cases of stomach problems, ulcers, GERD, and we were able to begin from the triage. We went next to the consultation. We also did pharmacy and also breast examination. So our experience on the first day was awesome. We are looking forward to expecting more patients tomorrow and also Thursday and Friday.
We're not only meeting the physical needs of the locals here, but we're also sharing God's word and meeting their spiritual needs. There's a desire and a need for God in this place. So coming here and meeting their physical needs is a great way to then meet their spiritual needs.
The Jaldesa area in Sacco constituency that held the Burana community relies on livestock such as camels, cattle, goats and donkeys as the investment were also not left behind.
We know that these are the people who depend on their livestock for their daily basis because this is what they are depending on. So for giving them the services is a good one because the animal, there will be reduction of diseases because here we have so many, there's some diseases like we say that PPR, there's contagious bovine pneumonia, contagious caprine pneumonia, and which are mostly affecting the animals in this area.
And so in the process of treating the animals, we of course interact with the human beings because the purpose of our mission is really to have an opportunity to engage with the community so that they can also start to know the love of Christ.
And therefore we use this strategy of having these medical camps treat the animals. And so when they come at the water point, we have a time where we evangelize to them and pray for their needs.
At CITA Matarba Church, 3 kilometers from Marsabit town, health workers continued the medical care as the missionaries carried out the ministry.
We thank God that we've been running medical, vet, missional camps, and that is quite intentional because it is providing for us a 3-pronged approach to ensuring that the gospel goes wider. The medics, the vets, and this other category, all of them are missionaries who have actually come here looking for an opportunity to share the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ.
We are here to say Christ is Lord and bring hope in the hopeless situation that is here. And also in Kargi, we are having the same that will be happening on the 20th to 27th of June, just a week from now. And please, you can sign in and join us at CITA Missions Church, Kargi.
According to these missionaries, these moved to serve the residents of Marsabit County and provide them with various services as one way of giving them the gospel has borne fruit as a large number of residents here were able to give their lives to Christ and agreed to proclaim the gospel.
The people are very responsive. They really are coming in numbers. It has been successful so far. We have seen them being attended to and they are happy, and we're also happy for the responses.
And they are so grateful, by the way, wako thankful because of this that tuna provide. Is the thing that wana lack. So we are tuna feel the gap.
The response has been amazing, and we believe that the word which have been able to share with these people, that it will grow in their lives.
Residents from Gororokesa and Matarba have had the opportunity to receive free treatment from the missionaries from both the livestock and people in 4 days in a row this week. Dolly Murigi for Hope TV from Marsabit County.
Thank you, Dolly, for that report. Now, at least 60 nurses and the Kilifi County Referral Hospital are demanding salary arrears accrued during the months of January and February last year. The nurses were part of a group that staged a strike to demand for better working conditions, but they now claim that a section of them were paid their salaries for the 2 months they were on strike, leaving them behind. Speaking on conditions of anonymity, the nurses claim that they are now worried and demotivated to perform their duties and want the county government of Kilifi to pay them. The nurses further complained that although they presented their grievances to the Kenya National Union of Nurses, KNUN, their grievances had not been resolved. The nurses who sought anonymity for fear of losing their jobs are part of a group that staged a strike to demand for better working conditions, but despite calling off their strike, their demands have not been met. The aggrieved nurses expressed that a section of them were paid their salaries for the 2 months they were on strike, leaving them behind. One of the nurses claimed that they presented their grievances to the Kenya National Union of Nurses, KNUN, but were told that the county government had no money to pay them.
Januari na Februari hatukupokea mishahara yetu, hatukupokea hata payslip, na mpaka wa sasa hivi tunapozungumza mwaka 2022 imefika katikati, hatujapokea mshahara wetu.
Tuna mahitaji pia sisi. Sasa tunashindwa tutasaidiwa vipi na tutasaidiwa na nani? Na ukiangalia majority ya kaunti zote za Kenya ni few tu zimebaki hazijalipwa. Sasa tunashindwa, kwa nini wengine wapewe mshahara na wengine wasipewe? Kwa nini tunabaguliwa na sote ni wahudumu wa afya?
The major grievances of the nurses include promotion from one job group to another and lack of salary increment.
It is very demotivating kwamba unafanya kazi na zile promotion zako ikifikia ile mwaka ambayo unapaswa kuwa promoted haupati. It is demotivating, manake unajua ni haki yako kama mwajiriwa. Hata kuna watu wanaretire katika zile job group ambazo hawafai kuretire na nafaa retire katika job group ya juu, lakini kwa sababu promotion hazijakuwa effected inabidi basi ana retire hapo. Sasa ina demotivate.
At the same time, another nurse complained that since the incident, she had gotten into a financial mess after defaulting on a loan. She urged the county government to pay them so that they could resolve some of their financial issues, adding that the cost of living had also gone up.
Na jinsi ambavyo tunaona uchumi umekuwa mgali, tulikuwa tuko na majukumu mengi hiyo wakati watoto wanataka school fees na pesa hiyo ndio tulikuwa tunatarajia, lakini hatukupata mpaka saa hii tumejaa madeni. Nikilio kietu tu kwa saa hii ya kwamba tukaweze kusikizwa ili na sisi tupate haki yetu ya kupata ile mshahara ili tukapate kulipa zile madeni ambazo tulikuwa tuko nazo.
The Kilifi County Executive Committee member, CECM for Health, Charles Karisa Dadu, defended the county government, saying that it is upon the complainants to table their demands to the hospital administration so that the Human Resource Office can recommend for their remuneration. He dismissed claims that some nurses were secretly paid their salaries despite them participating in the strike, adding that only those presenting their proof of work were paid.
Let's not complicate things, eh? You are paid for what you've worked. So kama wako na proof ya kuwa walikuwa kazini, the hospital administration should furnish the human resource with that report. Then we will recommend the salaries office to reimburse their money.
Efforts to get a comment from the KNUN officials in Kilifi County bore no fruits, as the chairperson was non-committal on the issue. Moving on now for the politics of the day, Deputy President William Ruto has pledged to implement the 2/3 gender rule within the first 3 months in office if he gets elected as the 5th President of Kenya. Speaking during the Kenya Kwanza Women Charter held at the Nyayo National Stadium, DP Ruto exuded confidence that Kenya Kwanza will have the most elected women leaders after the August 9th general election. As Kennedy Kimani now reports, the Kenya Kwanza presidential candidate promised to establish a 50 billion shillings fund that will offer credit to women in business, adding that his administration will create a procurement portal that will ensure that all women automatically qualify for funding.
Declaration of commitment.
In a bid to woo women voters, Deputy President William Ruto has pledged that if he gets to power after the August polls, his administration will create a procurement portal that will ensure that all women automatically qualify for funding through the Hustler Fund. Speaking today at the Kenya Kwanza Women Charter held at the Nyayo National Stadium, DP Ruto further added that his government will implement the 2/3 gender rule within the first 3 months in office and that half of his cabinet will be women.
Tuta-establish serikali ya Kenya itatengeneza hazina maalum inayoitwa Hustler Fund. Na hiyo Hustler Fund tutaweka pesa ya serikali shilingi bilioni 50. Na hiyo bilioni 50 tutawapatia wafanyabiashara kama wewe bila interest, without interest, bila hiyo interest ambayo umesema.
DP Ruto expressed confidence that most of the next batch of the country's elected women governors will come from the Kenya Kwanza Alliance and lauded UDA's nominee for the Kericho Women Representative Beatrice Kemei, who is practically already guaranteed the seat as she is unopposed in the race.
I commit that we will ensure that the Public Service Commission, in all its advertisements and recruitment, and all government agencies, commissions, parastatals, and other government agencies shall strictly observe the 2/3 gender rule.
So as to end gender-based violence, DP Ruto has assured that his administration will set up a women's rights agency under his office to protect women in the country.
Sisi tuna imani ya kwamba Rais wa 5 ya Jamhuri ya Kenya ni William Samoei, na sisi kama kina mama tunajua tumepewa kipao mbele kwa sababu amesaini hiyo charter ambaye imeangalia maslahi yetu.
Kennedy Kimani, Hope TV Newswatch, Nairobi.
Thank you, Kennedy, for that report. Still on politics, Azimio la Umoja presidential running mate Martha Karua has cautioned Kenyans against electing leaders with questionable integrity in the forthcoming general election. Addressing a series of rallies in Kitui, Karua said such leaders cannot be entrusted with Kenya's top leadership. Karua further said the Azimio administration led by Raila Odinga will be founded on the rule of law and zero tolerance on corruption. She was accompanied by Governors Charity Ngilu of Kitui, Kivutha Kibwana of Makueni and Mukisa Kitui, among other leaders. The Azimio Brigade addressed rallies at Kamutei Market in Kitui South, Zombe and Motitu centers in Kitui East, before concluding their day-long vote hunt tour of Kitui and Makueni at Kwavonza Trading Center in Kitui Rural.
Wacha kuwa impressed na utajiri. Hakuna tajiri amelisha kijiji hata moja hapa Kenya. Tajiri wa hapa Kamutei aje aseme watu wa Kamutei wakule wiki hii. Yangu. Iko mtu amefanya hivi. Iko tajiri amesema watoto wasome term moja, sio mwaka, term moja peke yake. Utajiri wa mtu hata awe tajiri wa mwisho hauwezi ukatosha Kenya. Lakini pesa yetu hiyo kidogo, hiyo kodi kidogo tunalipa ya Wakenya wote ikiwekwa kwa kitabu, kwa kikapu, inatosha shida zetu zote. Inatosha chakula kama iko ukosefu, inatosha dawa, matibabu, barabara, kila kitu. Tumekubaliana. Hatuhitaji sadaka kutoka kwa matajiri. Tunahitaji uongozi bora wa kuchunga pesa yetu. Na hiyo ndio serikali ya Azimio itawaletea. Mmekubali twende Azimio? Mmekubali kabisa? Mmekubali mtafute uongozi bora kutoka hapa chini mpaka juu?
Hapa hawa watu, there is no gambling. Hakuna karata. Hawa ni watu wa kukomboa Kenya mahali imebakia. Na tunataka haki kwa wote. Ile Martha amesema huku wote, social justice. Tunataka uchumi kwa wote.
Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga na deputy wake Monday walituonyesha manifesto yao, ile kazi watakuwa wakifanya. Kwa hivyo hii ni manifesto yetu. Kwa sababu tukiangalia sisi, Mheshimiwa Deputy President, huku Ukambani shida letu ni chakula na maji. Food and water. Kama sasa tuko na njaa sana na hatuna maji. Kwa hivyo hiyo ndio itakuwa ya kwanza. Ile ingine ni matibabu. Na hiyo anaita baba care.
Moving on, President Uhuru Kenyatta on Friday said the government has repositioned the National Youth Service (NYS) as a key pillar of its strategy for enabling the youth to contribute more effectively to nation building. The president noted that since 2013, more than 114,568 servicemen and women have been involved in programs of national interest with positive impacts on the country's socio-economic development. The head of state spoke at the NYS Training College in Gilgil, Nakuru County, where he presided over the passing out parade of 9,464 NYS recruits. Tess Njenga has the details.
Today, Your Excellency, the best gift the council, management, staff, and their own National Youth Service family can give you is a firm commitment that the National Youth Service will remain a sustainable, strong institution that develops the youth for socio-economic development of this country. Your Excellency, and in conclusion, I congratulate each and every graduate for successful completing the rigorous parliamentary training program.
And the market has also taken note of the reservoir of well-trained and disciplined workers that have been produced by NYS. And to ensure that we keep track of all these young men and women who undergo the NYS program, we did launch an information management tracking system here in Gilgil slightly over a year ago. This system has been instrumental in keeping track of servicemen and women from the time of their recruitment through to admission into the paramilitary training, deployment to the national service, enrollment in technical and vocational training, up to job placement. I am indeed happy to note that this system has made it much easier for the service to process requests from potential employers wherever there are job openings. And I am most pleased to state that even the government has upscaled the absorption of NYS servicemen and women into the discipline services and other public and private agencies.
Let's move to Turkana County, where police officers were caught on camera harassing journalists who were covering clearance of candidates by IEBC at the Turkana University College in Lodwar Town, Turkana County. The disturbing images show the roughed-up journalists trying to defend why they were covering the said event.
Wanahabari ni muhimu sana kwetu. Nasikitika sana polisi walipofanya hivyo. Na ikiwa naamini polisi hawatafanya hivyo bure, lazima pengine wamepewa maagizo fulani kutoka kwa IBC kuwa wazio wanahabari. Na kama IBC wametoa hiyo amri ya kuzio wanahabari, walikuwa wanaficha nini?
Sisi wanahabari ni stakeholders wetu kabisa, ambao wao ndio watu wanatufanyia voter education,
wanaelimisha wananchi mambo ya uchaguzi, na sisi hatujapiga wanahabari hata kidogo. Na wale security sector hao pia ni wadau wetu kwa upande wa kutupea security. So hakuna siku tumepiga waandishi wa habari hasa Turkana County. Sasa ongea tuje Turkana County, sijaona hiyo shida kwa Turkana County.
Kwa sababu nashindwa kuelewa kwamba mimi ninaamini kwamba polisi ndio wanaelewa sheria na utaratibu pamoja na itifaki ya kufanya kazi. Lakini hapa kidogo naona mara nyingi sisi waandishi wa habari kwenye kaunti ya Turkana kumekuwa na visa nyingi. Kila mara mwandishi wa habari akiwa hapa, polisi amepitia upande fulani. Mara kidogo umesimama hapa, polisi juu haileti tabia nzuri na si picha nzuri hii.
Truly, this is things that have been happening in Turkana County to our journalists, and this means that our journalists have been profiled and their life is at a threat. And now that we have 2 months left to the general election, we have fear. They also have fear that they may not perform their duty in making members of the public aware of the ongoing campaigns and even covering the D-Day for the election.
Let's now go for a fast break, and Hope TV Newswatch will be back with more stories. Don't go away.
On Hope Junction, every Saturday, get to enjoy songs that cater to the young and young at heart. Let the beat keep your head nodding.
Right now, what you love is amazing. We just
That's every Saturday on Hope Junction. From 10 a.m. Hope TV is where you look and live, with an excellent selection of the best Christian programming consisting of local and international content of inspirational stories, talk shows, Bible commentary, youth, health shows, children entertainment, contemporary gospel music, extended times of worship, live broadcast, news, movies, drama, Christian ministry programs, and so much more. Hope TV is another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries, with over 45% of authentic and credible local content every week. Hope TV is a sister station to Hope FM, Kenya's leading Christian radio station, with footprints across the country. Tune in to Hope TV, where you look and live.
Thank you for staying with us. Moving on, a section of traders in Machakos County have come out to decry a shortage of maize flour in the county. Maize millers have attributed this to a shortage of maize in the Kenyan market. The traders fear that due to this shortage, the prices could go up by 10 shillings for every 2 kg packet of maize in the coming days. According to Massmart Kenya supermarket manager David Mwange, whose supermarket is located in Machakos, by next week, the commodity might be rationed to customers. Mwange urged the government to intervene and save customers from high prices.
For the last 1 month or so, we've been experiencing a shortage of maize flour. A number of our suppliers have not been able to supply because they are citing a lack of maize to mill. And in the last week that we are finishing, we've experienced now an acute shortage from the main suppliers, and we foresee maybe in the coming week we might have a major challenge. The prices are also going up. For the last 1 month, the prices are high, and we foresee in the next 1 or 2, 3 weeks the price will also continue going up, and putting a lot of pressure on the on the purchasing power of our customers. And as the demand continues going up with low supply, that also will give us a challenge. We are appealing to the government. At least they see what they can do so that we can have enough maize in the different locations for milling.
Now, the Kenya Meteorological Department is set to launch an early warning system on climate change in Narok County so as to mitigate the effects of erratic weather patterns experienced in the county. Speaking after holding a 2-day workshop in a Narok hotel, the Assistant Director of Climate Services at the Kenya Met Department, Dr. Richard Moita, said the county experiences prolonged seasons of dry spell and too heavy rainfall that causes flash floods. Agriculture, livestock, transport stakeholders present during the launch were asked to follow directions from the Meteorological Department to avoid losses.
Sababu tunajua wengi ambao wako katika kaunti hii wanashughulika na swala kuu la kilimo na hasa upanzi wa chakula na pia mifugo. Na kwa sababu ya mabadiliko ya hali ya hewa, sehemu hii ama kaunti hii inakuwa imeathirika sana kwamba kipato chao katika kila mwaka kinapungua maradufu. Na kwa hiyo tukaona kwamba ni swala la msingi tukijumuisha na athari zinazokuja na mafuriko ambayo yamekuwepo katika kaunti hii. Tukaona ni swala la msingi tuwe na huduma hii ili ikaweza kuwaelekeza na kuwasaidia wakazi na wadau katika kaunti hii kuweza kujidhibiti vyema na kikamilifu katika swala hili.
Tulikuwa na washa ya kuwasomesha washikadau wa Narok kwa njia nyingine mpya. Ile mpya inatengenezwa ndio tujaribu kupeana huduma ya mapema. Ya mapema ni kusema ndio naye mkulima mwenye mshikadau wote akipata hiyo, akitumia hiyo njia mpya atakuwa naye anajisalisha kwa hadhari ya hali ya anga yoyote vile itakuja. Na hivyo ninasema ni kama tukisema leo kunanyesha, kutakuwa na huduma ama mashine tutaweka njia za mito, nyanda za juu, ndio sasa mtu yoyote ule anataka atapatia hiyo huduma. Inaitwa early warning system. Ni vifaa zitakuja, ndio sasa vifaa zikikuja zinapelekea watu na zinarudi kwa ofisi yangu na mimi na sambaza kwa mitandao ile mipya.
A section of youth in Malindi sub-county have lauded the government for launching phase 3 of the National Hygiene and Sanitation Program, commonly known as Kazi Mitaani. Speaking after the launch of the program, the youth expressed delight at the launch of the third phase, noting that they had suffered hardship due to unemployment, but that the program will help them meet their needs. The program comes at the right time to avoid youths being used to cause violence during political campaigns.
Kusema ukweli ni kwamba vijana tumekuwa tukihangaika kama mimi mwenyewe kwa sababu ya ukosefu wa kazi. Lakini pia tunashukuru kwa sababu nafasi hii imewapa vijana uwezo wa kuajiri na kuwasaidia kimaisha. Kijana anapofanya kazi, baada atakapopata mshahara ndipo ataweza kujikimu kimaisha, ataweza kulea familia na hata kwa mambo mengine madogo pia, kwa kuanzisha hata biashara ndogo. Kazi hii ina uwezo wa kuanzisha hata hizo biashara.
Mimi naweza shukuru sana kwa sababu hii kazi ilipofika mwisho wakati uliopita, vijana sisi tulipanic sana. Na kwa vile sasa imerudi, naona imekuwa imetutua ile mizigo ambayo ilikuwa imetulemea. Kwa kweli hii kazi imekuja wakati muhimu, wakati maisha yamepanda na vijana tayari walikuwa shaanza kurudi vijiweni na mambo na maovu yalikuwa shaanza. Kwa hivyo mimi langu ni shukrani kwa serikali kwa kuzingatia hasa kwa hali ya vijana kuweka kipaumbele.
Na workers 3,500 hao ndio vijana ambao watafanya hii kazi ya clearing and drainage and blocking na hiyo kazi ya aina hiyo. Alafu watakuwa na supervisors. Supervisors tuko na 98 supervisors. So in total supervisors plus workers tuko na watu 3,103. 3,103 supervisors plus the workers. So they are starting today. They'll be working in cohorts. Cohort 1. Now a place like Shell Ward, we have 487 workers. So the chief is going to divide them equally into 2. Cohort 1 itafanya for 9 days. Cohort 2, after the 9 days, cohort 2 inaanza.
The Narok Security Team, in collaboration with Base Titanium Limited and Narok Natural Resources Network, has planted over 25,000 tree seedlings at Sierra Leone, part of Masai Mau Forest in Narok South Sub-County. Narok County Commissioner Isaac Masinde, who led the planting of the 2,100 trees, said the forest is rejuvenating after people were evicted from the land in the year 2018 and 2019. Masinde reminded the residents that the forest was a mega water catchment area, as some rivers flowing to Lake Victoria and River Nile originate from the forest.
Siku ya leo pia tumekuja hapa kupanda miti katika sehemu ya Mau, ambapo kuna washikadau kadhaa ambao wamechukua masehemu zile ambazo tunaita blocks. Mau wakati watu walitolewa, tuligawanisha kwa mablocks, kila block moja inakuwa na hektari 50. Mali ambapo tuiko ni mali ambapo imechukuliwa na Base Titanium. Wao walipata hektari 34, na kati ya hiyo hektari 34 wameshapanda hektari 26. Kila hektari inachukua miti ya kienyeji 1000, kwa hivyo ni kama wameshapanda miti 26,000 kwa sehemu hii. Kuna zile blocks ambazo bado hazijachukuliwa na hizo blocks hazijapandwa, lakini kwa ujumla tulikuwa na blocks karibu 134 na nusu ya hiyo imeshachukuliwa na imepandwa miti.
Leo tumepanda miti zaidi ya 2000. Last time Base Titanium walikuwa wamepanda over 3000. Nataka niwashukuru sana na niwaulize kwamba mnapoendelea na kupanda hii miti, nyinyi mkiwa wakaaji wa hapa na mkiwa watu wenye mmefanya hii kazi, muhakikishe kwamba mnatusaidia kuchunga hii miti isije ikaharibiwa na wahalifu. Nataka nichukue nafasi hii pia niseme kwamba hii miti ni muhimu sana kwetu. Nyinyi, sisi, serikali, Kenya mzima, East Africa yote.
Now for our feature of the week, a 42-year-old ex-convict who was sentenced to death is recounting her days with regret over her past life of crime. Rose Rono, a mother of 4, a former death row inmate at the Nakuru Women's Prison, had been convicted to death in 2011 on a charge of robbery with violence. She was only 32 years old at the time, knowing that she will never taste the breath of freedom, but she managed to secure her freedom on the 28th of October 2020. Despite her regrets, Rose got born again in prison and turned to be a preacher, with her journey beginning anew. Rose, however, has a lot to smile about, bearing in mind the many souls that she has brought to Christ.
Rose Rono was convicted to death for robbery with violence, a crime that she was taught by her friends after facing numerous challenges, among them school fees for her children. Rose was involved in robbery with violence in Kericho town, where she had joined a group of 5 friends, all men, and convinced them to join them on a venture to make quick money. They pulled a heist on a business person in a retail shop in Kericho town, but their attempt to flee kilometers away was cut short by police officers who were hunting after them. The gang descended on the 5 men, who died instantly, and Rose was shot on her leg and left in the hands of an angry mob who wanted to lynch her.
Na kutoka hapo nikaenda hospitali, nikafanyiwa first aid Kericho, nikaletwa mpaka Nakuru. Baada ya hapo nikapelekwa koti, nikasomewa mashtaka na nikapelekwa mpaka Kericho prison, nikiwa hali mbaya ama hali mahututi. Nikaweza kusurvive mahali pale nikiwa na vidonda, na nikakaa. Baadaye nikapelekwa Referral Hospital, nikatibiwa huko na nikaweza kuwa afadhali, lakini nilikuwa bado prison. Nililala chini for 3 years bila kuamuka, na nikaendelea nikiwa hivyo na kesi. Baadaye nikawezesha kufungwa bado 2016, nikafungwa condemn ambapo inaitwa death sentence.
Joining the new world, literally she looked back in utter disbelief. The last time she was a free person was during the former President Mwai Kibaki's regime.
Nikaendelea kwa matibabu, niking'ang'ana na kesi, na kwa miaka 5 nikaweza sasa kufungwa hiyo death sentence, ambapo bado mimi ni mgonjwa na bado mimi ni mfungwa.
She tells us of the kind of life she had to experience while in prison, memories she says will stay in her forever.
Unapewa cell. Ukipewa hiyo cell, kuna sheria ya hiyo cell. Unaota jua for 10 minutes, na nilikaa kwa hiyo room for 2 years, nikiota jua for 10 minutes, nikirudi kwa nyumba. Ukitolewa leo for 10 minutes, mpaka kesho. So niliweza kuishi hapo peke yangu, nikiwa na muomba Mungu tu. Na nikaanza sasa kuingiwa na roho, yani na roho wa Mungu, nikaanza kukua tu nikimtafuta Mungu zaidi.
It is in that cell that Rose found God. Even with the worry of the fate of her children, Rose had to shift focus with a new journey in prison.
Hata mtu yote akiingia prison, kitu ya kwanza watoto. Mwenye alikuwa na mzee anakumbuka mzee ataoa. Vitu kama hizo, yani hiyo ni fear ya jela. Lakini baada ya mimi kuokoka, nikatoa watoto kwa roho yangu. Nikaambia Mungu, nimetoa kwanza hii watoto niweke kando. Nataka nikuachie kwa mkono yako. Nimetoa everything ndani yangu. Nataka tu nikuserve. Kwa sababu nikikuserve utashika wale watoto.
It was a sigh of relief then when President Mwai Kibaki eliminated the death sentence to life imprisonment.
Wakati president alirudisha watu live, nikawa mmoja wao kurudishwa live. So nikaishi nikiwa live sasa. Ile sheria si kali sana. Ukirudishwa kwa live, sheria si iko sheria, lakini bado haitakuwa ngumu kama ile ya kwanza, ile ya death sentence. So nikapunguziwa at least ile makali, na nikaweza kuishi nikitafakari mambo ya Mungu, na from hivyo tu Mungu akaanza kunifungua, wakaona tabia zangu ni mzuri, akaanza kunitoa nikakaa na wengine. But nikiwa death sentence ingeweza kukaa na wengine, lakini sasa hiyo freedom nikapata kidogo.
Rose would later appeal a case which took along, but with a conviction to salvation, she withdrew the appeal and later filed a petition admitting that she committed the crime. She was waiting upon the hearing of a case which happened during the intense outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic in 2020.
Na wakati nikaenda koti nikamwambia judge, mimi withdraw appeal, mimi sitaki appeal. Watu wakasumbuka sana, marafiki zangu wakalia, akasema Rose, kwani unataka kuishi jela? Ni nini mbaya? Ni nini imefanyika? Nikanyamaza. Wakati mwingine ama nikafikiria, nikasema mama nimefanya vibaya. Mpaka nikamwambia Mungu, sijafanya vibaya, leta njia mpya. Kukakaa ikapatikana mambo yenye serikali ilitangaza, ikasema review ama unaandika petition. Hiyo ni kusema kama unaomba msamaha. So nikarudi tena kwa miguu ya Mungu, nikanyenyekea na nikaomba Mungu na nikamwambia anipe direction. Naye Mungu akaleta hiyo report, nikaandika hiyo petition na nikapelekwa koti. Juzi kuwa na tarehe yote mimi. Nikapelekwa koti na tarehe ikapatikana, nikapewa tarehe. Tarehe ya kwanza ni wakati kulikuwa na corona kabisa. Hakukuwa kabisa venye mnaweza fanya. Nikafanya kwa Skype na nikapewa tarehe nyingine. So hiyo tarehe yenye nilipewa ya pili ilifanya niende koti sasa juu nilikuwa natakikana kotini.
What transpired during the hearing is what Rose described as favor from the above.
Wakati nilienda pale, instead nisomewe hiyo file juu ilikuwa kubwa sana. Aliweza kuona hizo vitu, hiyo makaratasi, ajua akaniuliza, pastor, nimeona wewe ni pastor. Nikamwambia Akaniambia, na sasa akaangalia tu file kidogo, alafu akaniambia, sasa pastor, nataka nitolee neno katika Yeremia. Yani instead case ifanywe. Akaniambia nitolee neno katika Yeremia. Nikatoa neno katika Yeremia. Akarudi akaniambia nipea ahadi za Mungu vile Mungu anaisema. Nikampea ahadi ya Mungu. Na akaniambia na uzepa utii, nikamwambia ni ghadhabu inashuka. Akaniambia wewe umeapa mbele ya mbingu na nchi na koti. Mimi sijakuapisha. Si wewe ndio umeapa? Nikamwambia Na wakati tulimaliza hivyo, akaniuliza umekaa miaka mingapi? Nikamwelezea. Ulikuwa na watoto? Nikamwambia na in fact watoto wangu nilikuwa nimeacha for 10 years, sikuwa nimewaona, hata sikuwa najua sura juu, nilikuwa najua ile sura kwa wadogo. Na baada ya hapo huyo jaji akaniambia miaka yenye umekaa imetosha. Juu mimi nilikuwa na expect anipe 10 years ama akinihurumia anipe 15 hivyo. Juu watu walikuwa wanafanya petition, unapata ameenda kupewa 20 years. Kwa nilikuwa nasema anihurumia anipe 15 ama 10. Na hakika Mungu akanifanyia hiyo muujiza kwa koti.
After her sentence was annulled by the judge, prison officers escorted her in an extraordinary way by buying her basic needs to start her life.
Mi wakati nilitoka nje mimi nilishangaa. Nikaona ni kama nimeona muujiza. Nimepata vitu zimepakiwa hapo. So kwa sababu ya ile discipline na ile favor yenye Mungu alikuwa amenipa, ndio ilifanya hiyo favor wanibebe tena. Nilibebwa kwa gari yao, tulikuja na JK mpaka huko. Na hata in fact mimi sikupanda JK. Mkubwa ndiye alikuwa kwa JK, mimi nilitafutwa gari kadogo. Nililetwa kama mfalme.
As she walked out of prison on 20th October 2020, escorted by prison officers to their home in Sachangwan in Nakuru County, it was a shock and disbelief to many who never thought of seeing her again. She was received by her family and relatives who were overwhelmed with joy, the reunion igniting the bittersweet memories of the past, with Rose's only prayer by then was to see her 4 children again.
So mtoto akakimbia, akapata na kina Jackie kukuja, mimi sijui mtoto. Mtoto ni mrefu, mimi simjui. Sasa nauliza Jackie, we Steve ni nani hapa? Steve ako wapi? Sasa Jackie anasema si ndio huyu. Na mimi sijui mtoto. So ni venye nilimuona hiyo nikasema kumbe watoto wamekuwa kubwa, hata siwajui sura, siwajui. Niliwacha akiwa wadogo.
Jacqueline Chepkoech, her firstborn daughter, was 14 years and a class 8 candidate when her mother was jailed.
Maisha ikakuwa ngumu. My father decided atupeleke kwa shushu. Kwa shushu huko hivyo ilikuwa ni time yangu ya kuingia form 1 and my mom hajafika bado, so like I was too worried. Actually I started feeling like life yenye tulikuwa tunaishi before na sasa life imebadilika all of a sudden, because sisi tulikuwa tumewekwa vizuri sana. My mom was like, my dad had a good job and my mom was a business lady by then. So time alishikwa hivi maisha imechange all of a sudden, mumepelekwa to a new environment, things were not that good. Ashosh pale hivyo, so Shosha kabaki pale na sisi daddy ameenda UG kutafuta job. Maisha ikakuwa ngumu. It happened that sikuenda shule for about an year. Nikakaa tena nyumbani. So imagine that's another 1 year nimekaa nyumbani. I'm imagining like now nikuisha imeisha. So I started hearing story like from my aunts. Mama Jackie alishikwa. So I started like digging out what's not happening. Kuna kitu siambiwi.
But as for now, what they all treasure is the company of their mother.
Lakini so far tangu mother ingie hivi tuseme vitu zimechange tu. Saizi jora kama hata kama mzazi ana ile pesa, unaona kabisa mzazi ana ile pesa, ile love, unaona ile love ya mzazi ile ni matters. Mimi nasemanga hata kama unipenda kile appearance yako ina matters. Appearance tu ile mko fit hivyo.
Lilian Moniki is a chaplain at Nakuru Women's Prison. She has led spiritual counseling session with inmates for years.
Many of them that are here because of robberies, because of murder cases, because of children neglect, don't come back. They change and they change. So there are times that you'll find this person cannot be attended in this way. So what do? We take this other route. If it's not this other route, then this one. And God has been faithful to us.
Lillian also tells us about Rose's journey into a believer and contributed to her freedom.
Rose, before she turned, was a bad one. I was working in an office, documentation office. We always crossed with Rose because she had the pride. Remember, it's someone who has now the grudge. I want to revenge. I remember one statement she told me one day, nikitoka nje ule askari nitampata. And it remained in my heart. I thank God because the journey has been seen through by God. The reintegration that she was given from Kericho, it's because she had changed. And they used to call her pastor. And after getting out of prison, we've still been communicating. It is not that easy to keep in touch with an inmate who was in prison, and still you have that willing heart of reaching this person, because not all of them change.
Sio kwa sababu najisifia, yani namwambia mwenyewe apokee sifa na utukufu kwa sababu sio mimi. Ile kibali Mungu ananipea yenyewe. Hiyo story hata nikisema inamaliza hata mwaka.
For now, Rose lives in Nakuru town with her 4 children, where she leads a quiet life. Dolly Mirigi, Hope TV, from Nakuru County.
Yesu ndiye njia.
Juu ya mwamba huu nitalijenga kanisa langu.
Hapa leo hii tuko na msikiti wa Mariamu, msikiti wa Yesu.
Kumbe kuna msikiti wa Yesu.
Ukiandika msikiti wa Yesu Kristo, mwana wa Mariamu, weka injili ndani, hubiria watu injili.
Kitabu ya Yohana inaandikwa 110 AD na Ufunuo Yohana 248 AD.
Na Qur'ani.
Mimi nakueleza habari ya Yesu kwanza, ufahamu hiyo kwanza.
Ungana na walimu wa neno wanapochambua masuala tata katika Biblia, wakiyalinganisha na vitabu vingine vya kidini.
Qur'an imekuja mwaka 600 baada ya Injili.
Yesu ndiye njia.
Biblia inasema pepo la nini? La uaguzi. Pepo la uaguzi maana yake inaweza ikajua wewe nyumbani kwako umetoka saa ngapi. Unajua mapepo yanajua hivi. Kwamba leo ulikula chakula gani.
Kama Bwana Yesu alitumwa kwa wana wa Israeli peke yao, wengine wetu ambao tunamwamini, basi sehemu yetu iko wapi?
Yesu ndiye njia. Kila Jumamosi saa 2 hadi saa 4 ya usiku kwenye runinga uipendayo ya Hope TV.
Because women talk more and they are not very strong physically, when they want to hurt their husbands or their children or anybody, they use the tongue.
Families under God.
How can we continue to live carelessly in ease?
Join Reverend Dr. Judy Mbugua as she imparts families through prayer, evangelism, and social transformation with the Word of God.
You know, God is not asking you to manage. He's asking you to be available.
Amen.
And He will make you able and capable.
Families Under God, Sundays at 8:30 p.m. only on Hope TV.
Thank you, Dolly, for that well-done report. Now for some business news. Tour operators in Kenya have been urged to embrace inclusivity, sustainability, and resilience in their business models to ensure that the sector continues to be a driver of economic and social progress. Speaking during a stakeholder consultative forum organized by the Kenya Association of Tours Operators, KATO, Kenya Tourism Board, KTB, Chief Executive Officer Dr. Betty Redia said the current travel trends and scenarios require that tour operators change their model of operation from travel coordinators to experienced designers to cater for the current traveler.
We're here with our stakeholders organized by KATO, who are the Kenya Association of Tour Operators, who are one of our key partners in fulfilling the business that we do, which is marketing the destination. Basically, the session today is a stakeholder engagement, which KTB usually does, but it acts to, first of all, engage our stakeholders who fulfill the work that we do, to understand how it is that we want to create and build the competitive advantage for the destination. They fulfill that promise that we put in the market, but also it gives us an opportunity to engage with our stakeholders to understand what are the challenges they are facing, what are some of the pain points they have in terms of being able to fulfill the mandate that they have, which is to ensure that tourism is thriving for the destination. What a forum like this provides us with is an opportunity to share our plans, to share our new areas in terms of the strategic thrusts that we're putting forward, moving forward, especially as we recover from COVID. But also it's an opportunity for us to understand where is the stakeholder, where are they in terms of the challenges they've faced post-COVID, and what are some of
Over 100 film industry experts and exhibitors from the local and international film sectors have gathered for a 3-day trade fair to discuss the film industry in Kenya at the 5th edition of the Kalasha International Film and TV Market. Speaking during the launch, the Chief Administrative Secretary, Ministry of ICT, Innovation and Youth Affairs, Maureen Mbaka, said that the ministry will continue working tirelessly with the relevant agencies to ensure the environment in which the film business is conducted is conducive. According to the Kenyan National Bureau of Statistics 2019 Economic Survey, the Kenyan film industry directly employed 129,824 people in 2019.
Daddy's got uncapped Wi-Fi. Can we please use it?
The market's main objective is to encourage growth and creativity in content creation. And in this edition, I urge all filmmakers and stakeholders to come, engage, and also interact with experts in the film and audiovisual industry from Kenya and across the world. The Ministry of ICT, Innovation and Youth Affairs has taken deliberate measures to improve ICT infrastructure in the country to support the film business.
When it comes to production of local films, Kenya has distinguished itself as a center of excellence for documentary filmmaking in Africa, among them Softy and The Letter. Several Kenyan feature films have also been attracted international praise, which we commend the practitioners in the field. The Kalasha International Film and TV Market is therefore an important event for us. It offers a unique platform for all regional and international players and festival goers from the TV and film industry to gather, discuss, exchange, collaborate, share stories, and develop new business opportunities. For the next 3 days, this trade fair will showcase filming activities and offer high-level interaction through conferences, workshops, business-to-business opportunities, and pitching sessions. So as a sector, the challenge is for us to continue championing the art of filmmaking and the push that the film industry can actually change our social being and create opportunities for wealth creation in our nation.
Now for some sporting action. With the FKF Premier League coming to the tail end, KCB FC are intensifying preparations ahead of the weekend's clash against Bidco United in their last match of the season. The Bankers, who are sitting 9th on the log with 43 points, are set to lock horns with the Thika-based side on Sunday at the Thika Stadium. Assistant coach Godfrey Oduor reckons his side is ready for the last assignment of the season, having had a turbulent campaign, and is upbeat they're going to register a positive result. Striker and Golden Boot contender Derek Otanga admits he is under pressure to score more goals in the coming match and clinch the individual accolade against his closest rival.
This season has been relatively average for us, but during the second leg of the season, because we started very well, our first leg was super, but the second leg we had some flops here and there. So I'd say that it was an average season. This team, it's a good team, which has been really fighting for great positions and even to win the league. So we will sit down with the technical bench, with also our management staff, and see how best we can inject some motivation.
Tumeprepare vizuri, confidence iko juu,
kila mtu ako psyched kushinda game ya mwisho, considering pia hatukuanza ligi vipoa, game za kwanza tulistruggle, but this time tunataka tufinish on a high. Anaweza encourage wakam tu atusupport mwisho. Of course tulipotea kwa njia, but at least tukimaliza poa inaweza kuwa positive kwetu as players, or wakam tu atusupport.
Now, Liverpool forward Mohamed Salah has been named the PFA Player of the Year to end Manchester City midfielder Kevin De Bruyne's run after winning it the last 2 years. Salah, the joint top goal scorer in the Premier League which just ended, was also chosen ahead of Liverpool teammates Sadio Mane and Virgil van Dijk. Manchester United's Cristiano Ronaldo and Tottenham's Harry Kane were the others nominated for the prestigious annual award, which is voted for by the players. Mo Salah also finished the season with the most assists, recording 13, to claim the Premier League's Player Marker Award. Now, and that sports news brings us to the end of this live broadcast. Thank you for staying for the entire length of this bulletin, and many thanks as well to the team working behind the scenes to ensure we had a seamless bulletin. Enjoy the rest of your programming. John Carson is coming up next. Bye-bye.